I got to go to bed at 9:30 so I can walk Maggie the dog. When is the last time?
Well, Maggie's the previous dog.
I know.
Jessie is the current dog. I think I watched the last one. Look, I'm going to watch this one. I think it's a fabulous matchup. We're going to get to it in a second. I'm eager for this one. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, LeBron, not a fan of an all-star game. The Eagles look iffy again on Carson Wentz, and Trevor Bauer spurns the Mets for the Dodgers. But we begin today with the Super Bowl, which is finally upon us. After a season of juggled schedules and limited fans in the stands and no real home field advantage, we've got the most attractive matchup imaginable. Brady, Mahomes. The greatest and maybe the next greatest. Wilbon, which way are you leaning?
Before we get to that, dude, what is up with the wallpaper in your attic? That's a frightening situation behind you. Frightening.
Oh, well, Tracy did that. Tracy put pictures of you behind me for Valentine's Day, signifying that you were my Valentine.
Oh, okay. You got to get Tracy some better judgment. But nonetheless, we go straight to the Super Bowl. And which way am I leaning? Tony, you like to make fun of me, justifiably so, when I say I'm going to push. Because sometimes you don't know. Sometimes I do it for dramatic effect or to annoy you. This time, I have no idea. Which way am I leaning? I don't know. And right now, I'm leaning toward Mahomes. By the first break of the show, I could be leaning toward Brady. I have no idea. Yeah. I would never go to Vegas. My own son says to me this morning, Dad, if you were going to be thrown out of the house and you had to make a bet, who would you bet on? Brady or Mahomes? I said, I have no idea. I would throw you out of the house and be comfortable not knowing who I picked. I don't know. Whatever I say now, I'm going to say something else by the end of the show. I'll say Mahomes at this moment. I'll probably say Brady, in the next block.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this. I just think it's a fabulous circumstance with age and youth and these two great quarterbacks. I'm rooting for Brady because I think Mahomes will have more time to get back there. Brady, this could be it. He's 43. At some point, you run out of time. He's got to be close to that number now. But, I mean, I would not, if they asked me who I would bet on, even with the 3-point spread, I would probably bet on Kansas City. I think that their best players right now are better right now than Tampa's best players. I mean, I think Mahomes is a better quarterback now than Brady. I think Kelsey's a better tight end now than Gronkowski. I think that Edwards-Helaire is better right now than Jones and Fournette, and I think it might be a push with Hill and Evans. And so if you ask me which way I'm leaning, I won't push. I will say I'm leaning to Kansas City because, Mike, he's 25-1 in his last 26 starts.
Yeah, and
it's unbelievable.
Brady's 3-0 in his last 3 starts, all of which I think you and I picked against him. We picked somebody else, not the Washington football team, but the next 2 starts. And, Tony, everybody on this network who played football for a living, they all have said, and they have gone through this very persuasively, that Tampa's got the better roster. They've gone through this all week. Yeah. Tampa has the better roster. And, by the way, Kansas City is missing those 2 tackles. That's right. Should matter. But maybe Mahomes will just run out of trouble. I don't know. You know what? That's good because I'm not going to bet. I'm tired of people's picks. I don't give a damn about people's picks. I don't care. I want to watch the game. I don't want to pick the game.
Yeah. This is interesting what you're saying. The offensive line for the Chiefs, that's troublesome. And what we've seen is that Tampa, we saw it against Aaron Rodgers, Tampa can rush the passer. But you can rush Mahomes. That doesn't mean you're going to get Mahomes. I would love to think, Mike, that the game came down, that it was a great game, and it came down to a late, great defensive stand. Yeah. I would love for that to happen. Love to see it.
Yeah.
I would.
I just want to see it, period. LeBron James, speaking of GOATs, isn't happy about the prospect of an NBA All-Star game. A day after De'Aaron Fox said holding the contest is kind of stupid, LeBron called it, quote, pretty much a slap in the face. I'm not very happy about it. I'll be there if I'm selected, but I'll be there physically, not mentally, close quote. Woj reports that the league and the players' union expect to have a deal finalized by next week. Tone, how much should they be influenced by LeBron's opinion?
Well, he is not De'Aaron Fox. We are further up on the food chain. He's the top of the food chain. He's the best player in basketball. He's the face of the league. And he's a guy who has never done load management. He understands the responsibility to fans. He thinks about fans. He thinks about product. He thinks about all of those things. So I think they have to take it very seriously because he is LeBron James. Now, I'm going right back to you because yesterday I said I was not in favor of this game, and you said you were. No. How much are you influenced by LeBron?
I said I know that players are in favor of it. The broadcast partners, one of which we work for, is in favor of it.
Yeah,
I think the commissioner's office is in favor of it. I think so. Here's what matters to me. Of course, LeBron's words and opinion matter and should influence the process. But I hope LeBron has told this to Adam Silver. I mean, you can say what you want after a game, and LeBron should. LeBron is one of the guys, even if there was only 5 guys in the league you want to hear from, LeBron's one of them. And he's thoughtful after these games. He didn't just walk out there and say, practice, or both teams play hard. He's thought about what he's saying, and he's conveying something that's important 99% of the time with LeBron. So I hope he conveyed it to Adam Silver. But he don't have Adam Silver's cell phone number? Call Adam Silver. This isn't happening in a vacuum. If I'm talking to players about this, LeBron's hearing this. This didn't pop up yesterday. So I hope he's talked to Adam Silver and the two of them, the commissioner, and as you said, the face of the league, have this conversation between them. You don't need a mic to drop. They should talk. I'm sure. I would think
I'm going to
they
go back.
have.
I'm going to go back on what I said yesterday. Baseball didn't have an all-star game. Football didn't have an all-star game. Hockey just canceled its all-star game. I think you have to keep your players safe. 450,000 people have died of the coronavirus in this country. And I don't think that you go lightly into an event like this. If you want it to be for charity, write a check now and promise people we'll have this game when it's safe, and we'll have the real all-star game. We'll have all the hoopla. We'll have all the events.
Sure.
We'll have all the interviews. We'll do that, but we're not doing it until it's safe. Big news from baseball. Trevor Bauer, the reigning Cy Young Award winner from Cincinnati, has left Cincinnati for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The deal is 3 years for $102 million. But Bauer has opt-outs after this year and next. Wow, that is a favorable contract. Wilbon, the rich get richer. What does this deal do for the Dodgers?
It makes him richer. You know, what does an extra $1 billion do for Steve Ballmer? It makes him richer. The Dodgers get better. And this is what happened. What I like about the Dodgers, owned primarily by a Northwestern guy, Tony. I know you hate that.
That's fine.
Mark Walter. I like the fact that the Dodgers are going for it. Some teams right now, and there's some teams all the time, the Dodgers every year say, let's win it all. Let's go for it today, tomorrow, and next week. And that's what I'm no Dodgers fan, but I love that about the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Mets seem to be doing this. The White Sox, who don't have as much money, are at least doing it this year with their farm guys coming up and being ready, they think, to break out. There are a handful of teams. The Dodgers still lead the way. My God, how much flexibility and versatility do they have when they write out the lineup when it comes to pitching? Not just every day with the starters.
Let's go through that.
Middle relievers, everybody.
Let's go to their starters first, because you got Buehler, you got Kershaw, you got Bauer, and David Price is coming back after opting out. So you got 3 Cy Young winners right there, and Buehler, who's the one who didn't win the Cy Young, is considered at the moment the ace of the staff. I think this is a huge move by Bauer, and I look at him because what you do when you bet on yourself like this with a short-term deal and you don't take the long-term number of money and number of years, what you do is you say, okay, when fans come back in and teams have more money to spend, if I have a good year, I'm going to make even more money. He played the Mets like a violin, and he went back to his hometown team. And I told you this a few minutes ago before we got on the air. He did a video that is spectacular. I know he's an iconoclastic guy, but that video is great. And he's interesting. He's an LA kid. He went to UCLA.
By the way, speaking of Southern California,
they could win for years.
I didn't mean to leave out or slight the Padres. The Padres are trying to win too. And the fact that those two teams are, I don't know, 120 miles apart, that sets up for some great theater in Southern California. But Bauer, who I don't know, I probably wasn't paying attention to him when he was in Cincinnati and a rival team of my team. that video, Tony, by the end of it, when the light comes on and he's in a Dodger jersey, I mean, if you're a Dodger fan, you got to be electrified by getting this guy to add to that staff.
Let me tell you one more thing, because it just looks, this has the feel that it's almost too perfect. This has the feel of when Kevin Durant said, I'm going to go to the Warriors, and people said, what?
Yeah.
They've already won.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're going to go to the Warriors? This feels like that. Let us take a break, but coming up, the Eagles appeared to have chosen Carson Wentz over Doug Peterson. But could they trade Wentz after all?
Just don't trade him to my team. There's that rumor out there. I don't want Carson Wentz. Nobody in Chicago
we'll talk
wants
about
Carson Wentz. And Jordan Love says he knows his time is going to come with the Packers. We'll look into the future and tell you what we think. I don't want Carson.
And welcome back to the PTI Psychic Hotline, where we peer into the future to bring you answers from the great beyond. And Hart, I sense the first call.
Hi, guys. This is Mike. Do you see the Eagles dumping Carson Wentz after all?
So let's walk this back a little bit. As people know, when the Eagles fired Doug Peterson, the notion was they were doing that so that they could keep and rehabilitate Carson Wentz. And they bring in Nick Sirianni, who had worked for Frank Reich. And when Frank Reich was the quarterback's coach, I believe, of the Eagles, that's when Wentz had his greatest year. But what if Sirianni says, I'm not Frank Reich. I don't like this guy. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's trade him to Frank Reich, who may be the only guy that likes Carson Wentz.
That's good.
Here's the deal with Wentz. Look at the film. I mean, he has regressed substantially.
Dramatically.
The other guy, Jalen Hurts, made the team work better than Wentz. And Wentz may very well, Mike, he may say, I don't even want to be here anymore. I want a fresh start someplace else, which makes sense to me. That's why I love the fact that Chicago is interested, that he could be your quarterback, and you hate him so much, your head would explode.
Yeah, it would explode. Because that would be such a lame Bears pick. It's like any of the other quarterbacks they've had over the past 40 years, except Jim McMahon, where they go and get somebody else's retread, and he doesn't work. I don't including Jay Cutler. So don't start me on that. Wentz, going to the Colts seems like the most logical move because you've got a head coach there who has had direct success, has open lines of communication, which you hear don't exist in the Philadelphia locker room with Wentz otherwise right now. So get rid of Wentz, get him out. You can get him to the Midwest. You can get him, just 180 miles south of Chicago, away from Soldier Field, in whatever they're calling that dome in Indy now. Get him there.
And even though you don't even like him, even though he's got 113 touchdown passes and only 50 interceptions. Next. What's next? Next.
Hey, Tony and Mike, this is Adam. Do you see Jordan Love's time ever coming with the Packers?
Oh, so we are talking about this now because Jordan Love said to CBS Sports that he is patient and he knows his time will come. Okay, but will it come with the Packers? And this is why I bring this up, Mike. Because if the Packers are serious about committing to Aaron Rodgers, as they say, and they give him this big contract, and they write in the contract, don't worry, Jordan Love's not getting on the field at all unless there's an emergency, and that makes Rodgers happy, then you know what you have? You have Jimmy Garoppolo in New England waiting for Tom Brady, and we know how that ended.
Yeah.
They traded Jimmy Garoppolo, and he never took over for Tom Brady. And in fact, that could happen here because if you listen to the GM and you listen to the coach, they just love Rodgers so much. They say he's our leader for the next 3,000 years. Yeah. So you want to make him happy? Trade Jordan Love. Yeah. That'll make him happy. And what bothers me, I feel badly for Jordan Love because he's an innocent bystander in this.
I don't believe they're going to commit to Rodgers for the long term. He's 37. Even if they committed for a Tom Brady length of time, that would be 6 years. That would be a long time in today's NFL and professional sports at all. I don't believe it. I don't believe that. I don't believe they're going to do that. They spent this draft pick and told the world, we want this kid, Jordan Love. We want to play him, and we're going to build around him. And they angered Aaron Rodgers. Whether he winds up there this season or not, we don't know. But they annoyed, somewhere between annoyed and angered Aaron Rodgers. No, this is going to be messy. This is not going to be clean. And as an anti-cheesehead, I want it to be messy.
The phone lines closed. Let's take one last break, but in our future, I see us discussing what Jim Irsay had to say about the potential of Andrew Luck making a comeback.
And should it be concerning that the Sixers lost to a depleted Blazers team last night?
Not to me. Is it concerning to you?
No.
February 5th.
It's February. Lots of crazy stuff happens in the NBA in February.
Happy time, people. Happy 29th birthday, Neymar. If Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are on the top step of soccer superstars, Neymar is just one step below. He scored 83 goals in 101 games for Paris Saint-Germain, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and only Pelé has scored more goals for the Brazilian national team. Forbes says Neymar is the 4th highest paid athlete in the world, but the book on Neymar is that he's immature and he parties too much, especially since there is a pandemic. For example, Neymar hosted a week-long New Year's Eve party at his Seaport mansion in Rio de Janeiro, despite a rise in coronavirus cases. But Neymar says, quote, "I've been in football for several years. If you stay 100% with your head focused on just playing football, you end up exploding," unquote. Neymar has often been quoted saying he will never stop partying, so happy birthday.
Seaport mansion in Rio. That's what he's got. Others ain't got that. Neymar should just do whatever the hell he wants. He is. He's Brazilian. He's Neymar. He lives in Paris when he wants and Rio when he wants. You got that life in your attic, huh?
No, not in my attic. Not yet. Hoping for it, but not yet. No Seaport up here. Happy anniversary, Los Angeles Dodgers. Around this day last year, the Dodgers rolled the dice. They traded for Mookie Betts. By July, the Dodgers and Betts finalized a 12-year, $365 million extension. By October, the Dodgers won the World Series. Betts is smack in the middle of his prime at 28. He has 5 Gold Gloves and a .301 batting average. He's already been MVP of the American League and now plays besides Cody Bellinger, who's been MVP of the National League.
Look at that throw.
Although the Dodgers have lost Jock Peterson and Kike Hernandez to free agency, and they may lose Justin Turner as well, do not weep for them. They still have Betts, Bellinger, Corey Seager, Max Muncy, Will Smith, A.J. Pollock in their lineup. They get David Price back on the mound after he opted out last season, and oh yeah, Trevor Bauer.
If you weren't going to change places in life with Neymar, why not Mookie Betts? Pretty good life for Mookie Betts. He may not have the Seaport mansion in Rio, but I bet he can buy one if he wants.
Well, he can certainly buy one near L.A. That's near the sea. He can do that. Happy trails to the notion of an Andrew Luck comeback. Colts owner Jimmy Irsay, who last week gleefully opened the door to Andrew Luck returning to quarterback the Indianapolis Colts now that Phillip Rivers has retired, had that door slammed shut by Luck himself. Irsay told the local CBS affiliate Luck is not coming out of retirement. Irsay said, quote, "He's more retired now than he was a year and a half ago. He definitely is retired. And there's really no wiggle room or rumor or anything, as much as people would like to hear that. Believe me, I wish it was true and I was hiding some big announcement. But that's just not the case," unquote. So Irsay, who started the rumor, now ends it, and it was fun while it lasted.
You know what? The Colts and the NFL need Andrew Luck more than Andrew Luck needs them. I mean, he doesn't. I'm sure he's made enough money. He's Andrew Luck. He'll be beloved anytime he appears, ducks his head out of his door if he's in the state of Indiana. So good for Luck to just say, no, I'm tired of getting my head bashed in. I'm staying retired.
2 errors, Wilbon. You said it's 120 miles between Dodger Stadium and Petco Park, and it's actually 123 miles. And you said it's 180 miles from Soldier Field to Lucas Oil Field, and it's actually 183.3. What do you have to say for yourself on that?
Google Maps, take a hike.
That was really good. You did well. Let's go to the big finish.
Let's do it.
The Blazers beat the Sixers despite missing both Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. Would you like to explain that?
Sixers didn't have Ben Simmons, and it's February, Tony. I know the season hasn't gone on as long as it usually does by February. Strange things happen in the NBA. In February, it's fine. The Colorado Avalanche pausing at least through February 11 due to COVID. Is that a big deal?
It's the second team in 2 days to announce a suspension. Another team had already announced that. It gets dicey now. It doesn't look like the bubble last year. The Cardinals traded outfielder Dexter Fowler to the Angels. Is that significant?
Dexter Fowler, switch hitting and leadoff and playing great outfield, won something we like to call the World Series for Joe Madden. He can go help Joe Madden get his whole program, even going even better there. So a good thing, I'm sure, for Joe Madden. He wanted him. Serena Williams pulled out of the semis of an Australian Open tune-up with a right shoulder injury. Are you concerned?
No, it's a tune-up. She didn't pull out of the Aussie Open yet. You let me know when she does that. Last one, The Weeknd, says he put $7 million of his own money into Sunday's halftime show. Do you have high expectations
Yes,
for
I do. I like The Weeknd, but if you lose money doing that very often, you're going to be working the weekend. I expect it to be a really good show.
Out of time. Try and do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
I'm Mike Wilbon. Have a great Super Bowl weekend, Knuckleheads. You can get the podcast on the app or Apple Podcasts. And now, with more picks, I'm sure, here's SportsCenter.
Do his friends call him the or Mr. Weekend?